What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Love and Hip Hop Miami Season 4, Episode 4, and the episode is titled Keep It Nasty. Alright, you guys, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this review, shall we? Alright, you guys, so I'm going to pick up with, the episode picked up with Florence, so I'm going to start with Florence, and then we're going to go down the line of the episode. So you guys remember in the last episode with Florence El Luce that her sister told her that Marlon, Florence's husband, was sleeping with one of her girls, right? Child, it got worse. I'm like, how did it get worse? Like, you've been sitting on this secret that your sister's man is sleeping with one of your girls. Then Gaye, I believe that's her name, Galle, Gaye, I don't know how to pronounce it. Then she said that, Marlon was paying her off. I'm like, well, damn. So your brother-in-law pays you to keep his secret, and this is your sister. If that ain't fucked up, I don't know what is, right? So then she also says, this is why I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you this because of how you crying and all this kind of stuff. This is why I didn't want to tell you. Girl, that is your sister. That ain't some random woman off the street that you don't know like that. That is your sister. So then Florence goes over to their restaurant, right? And she's looking for Marlon, and she asks their manager, has he been there? She says no, he hasn't been there. So then Florence calls Marlon on the phone, and she's talking to him, right? And Marlon gave some BS excuse about why he wasn't there. I didn't understand it, but whatever. So she says, you know what, I'm about to pull up on you and so we can talk. So Florence goes home and she confronts Marlon, and he says he don't know anything about what she's talking about. She said, but Gaye told me. He said Gaye is lying. She said, but she said you paid her. He says, yeah, I gave her money, because she's family, for the kids, for her. And she says, okay, well, you know what? At this point, I feel like we need to take a break. So then we later see Florence. She's at her store. I will say her beauty bar, right? I will say that beauty bar looked a lot better than the last time we saw it, but it still ain't that much better, right? So she's talking to her cousin, right? So the guys that are working there, they left. They're gonna go do something else. I'm like, damn, they're working for you, doing some work for you, but they got some other job to do. Nah, baby, you would be fired. So then she tells her cousin about Marlon and Gaye, right? And she's starting to wonder to herself if she's too busy at this point. Like, if she's too focused on her businesses and her music. No, you're not. Like, do you make the money for yourself? Like, because if you guys get a divorce, you're going to have to, take care of yourself and your kids. So no, you're not too busy, baby. Keep working. So then we later see Florence in the studio with this Haitian producer, right? Now, the whole time she was in the studio with this producer, I noticed his finger, right? He kept putting he had his hand to the camera, right? And I noticed he has a band on his ring finger, right? So I'm like, is this man married? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not really gonna play with me with this shit, right? So he's doing the song for Florence, and Florence is flirting hard with him. I'm like, damn. I get that you going through some issues with Marlon, but damn, you don't see that repelling on that man's finger? Some people don't care about that, and that's between them and whoever, right? So so then Gaye calls her, right? And Florence tells Gaye that she wants to meet up with her. Gaye is like, I ain't ready for that. I'm like, what? You done kept a secret from your sister, and you telling her, girl, ain't no way. I would have first of all, I would have beat her ass if I was Florence, right? So like I said, Florence is in the studio flirting hella hard with this producer. I forgot what his name was, but flirting hella hard with him, right? Like I kept saying, notice a ring on his finger. Then they went in the studio. They got hella close to each other. I'm like, okay, I can't with this. I can't. But that was it for Florence. So we're gonna move on, you guys. I don't think I'm gonna do Atlanta. I might skip Atlanta this week because it just didn't give me much. Yeah, let's move on. You guys, let's go ahead and get Amara out the way. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Them subtitles, actually, you know what? Them subtitles annoyed me. I get it that they speak in Spanish, but damn, they spoke Spanish the entire fucking episode. It's like, damn, am I watching Telemundo? You know, Telemundo, Univision. Like, what am I watching? So Amara, she's back in Miami in that gaudy ass house, right? So she says to us, she's handling business in Miami until she figures everything out. So at this point, it's not just, her mom living in the house with her. Her dad is there, right? With the pandemic, her dad came. I was like, is he a legal citizen? No shade. I didn't know that the man was a legal citizen. I thought that was the issue. I thought that's why he didn't come back. Never mind. I ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China, really and truly. So her father and her mother, honestly, in this entire episode, they argued. I'm like, why are y'all arguing so much? But whatever. They're arguing about him going to Puerto Rico. So he says one thing, the mother says another thing, because she said he went to Puerto Rico and that he never sent any money or called. But he says he did. So then we see Amara and her dad, they went out, right, to buy some plants or whatever. And she tells him that, she wants to talk to him. And she says she wants to talk to him, right? And she also wants him and her mom to be able to have communication with one another. But they argue and fight so much, right? So then her dad is telling her his side of the story about when he went to Puerto Rico, right? He went to Puerto Rico. He was going to, have her and her mom come to Puerto Rico. But when he got over there, he said he called back to the States to talk to Anna. And at that point, Anna had moved on. And then after he realized she moved on, he moved on. So Amara was like, well, how long was that? He says about 5 months, right? Now here's my thing. Here's my issue. Here's my thing with Daniel is his name. Even if she moved on, right? That doesn't stop you from coming to see your daughter, having a relationship with your daughter, sending your daughter money. That just means that your relationship with her mother is done. That don't mean that your relationship with your child is done. So even with him trying to excuse it, saying that she had another man, that doesn't negate your obligation to your daughter. And Amara was just telling him how hard it was for her growing up without her father, seeing people that seeing her friends with their dads and whatnot. I can imagine. And then the effect that it's had on her with her love life. Amara needs to seek therapy. Just saying. But like I just said a minute ago, especially with her dad, that even if her mom moved on, that is no excuse for you not to be a present father in your daughter's life. So miss me with that shit, right? So then we see Amara and her mom and dad there at the house. So Amara goes and talks to her mom and tells her mom about the outing that she had with her dad, right? And she tells her mom that her dad said she had a new boyfriend by the time when he got to Puerto Rico. And she says that was Eduardo, the Cuban, right? And I'm like, oh, so there is a little bit of truth in this story. There's a little bit of truth, right? So she did have another man. So her dad is saying that he called the house one time. Eduardo answered the phone. She says he never called the house. I don't know. Honestly, you guys, like I said, that arguing, and it was in Spanish, and then motherfucking subtitles took me out. I couldn't really get into it because that's all they were doing was just arguing. She kept telling him to tell the truth, but then he didn't want to say anything. So I'm like, again, like I said, no matter what, even if she had moved on, that doesn't mean that you don't be a father to your child. You still have to be in your kid. You still be a part of your daughter's life, no matter what. But yeah, that's it for, like I said, they kept arguing, and it was in Spanish. And reading the subtitles in Spanish in an argument, it's interesting. But let's move on. All right, you guys, next up, let's talk about Suki. So it really wasn't a lot with Suki in this episode, but we got some stuff with Suki, right? So Suki got arrested, and Suki got arrested for fighting some girl. Her words is, these are her words, right? She got into a fight with some random hoe that was talking about her kids, and she went to jail. Now, I did a little digging to see who this random hoe was. And these are her words, who this random hoe was. The only person that I saw that she got into it with is this girl named Kayla, but I could never find the fight. They showed a little. In a little surveillance footage of the fight, but I never could find it. She got into this, and I did see this video of this girl named Kayla, and she was talking about Suki, and it was not the. I mean, when she was talking about her, I'm like, damn, because she was talking about Suki's OnlyFans and her kids, right? And talking about the fact that Suki was on camera sucking dick. She threw up on the dick. Oh God, I remember seeing that, and she kept going. Ugh. But she was talking about that, and then she's like, she did bring up Suki's daughter, and I was like, girl, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? Why would you mention her child? That's fucked up, right? Don't mention her kid. You might have an issue with her, and what she said was she hope her daughter don't be like her. But don't mention her kids, period. Like, keep kids out of it. That didn't have nothing to do with you. So yeah, Suki said she fought her, and she says that Bill bailed her out, right? So Bill tells Suki he don't support what she did, right? Because of her career. But she said, like, what if there was some nigga doing that to you? He said, I would have beat that nigga's ass. She said, exactly. So then I don't understand the significance of Bill giving Suki that shoebox with all that money in it. And I'm like, so you literally just sat here and told her you don't support her fighting, old girl, but you present her with a shoebox full of money. So there's a contradiction, bruh. Speaking of Bill, what the fuck is he? I mean, he got on is that a mink coat he's wearing in his interview? I hope it's faux fur, faux mink, whatever the hell it is. I hope it's faux. So then we see Bill and Suki. They at the jewelers, right? Suki's not in the right headspace, so he says, "Let's call your mom." And she says, no." So anyways, he calls her mom. He says, "Your mama want to talk to you." So she didn't want to talk to her mom because she felt like her mom was gonna judge her, but her mom didn't judge her, right? She said, it's not even about the mugshot that's out there. It's about it's the reason why the mugshot is out there. But she's like, she didn't make too much of heads or tails about it, right? So so she asked about the grand opening of her store. So the grand opening of her store is still going to go through to fruition. Suki talking about she want to put her mugshot on a shirt, on this, on that. Actually, when you think about that, it's kind of smart, right? Profit off of it. If people want to make fun of you, hey, it's on the shirt. If you want to, so I actually really can't hate on that, right? Because it's actually quite smart. Let's move on, you guys, and wrap the episode up. It wasn't that much to this episode. All right, guys. So I'm gonna talk about Trick. So Trick has Ray J and Noriega over to his crib, right? You guys remember in the last episode that Noriega and Ray were supposed to be cooking for Prinky and for Neri. Well, it didn't go that well, right? So Trick is showing them how to cook, right? So Trick asked Ray, "So you in Miami?" He says, "Yeah." He was like, "So what happened? Like, how did y'all end up here?" He says, "We came down for my birthday, and Ray J's trying to say that coming down for his birthday really helped him and Prinky out." I'm like, "Oh, is that so?" So Ray asked about Trick and Joy, right? Excuse me, y'all. So Trick and Joy, at this point, Trick and Joy are not divorced. Are we surprised? Absolutely not. So Trick and Joy was supposed to go to court. The divorce was actually thrown out of court, right? He says, and Ray asked, why was the divorce thrown out of court? Because neither one of them showed up to court. That's because they, like we've been saying for years, they're using this as a storyline. Let's stop playing the games. So then Trick tells them about a birthday party that, a surprise party that Trina's going to be throwing for Joy, right? Trick don't want to go because Joy's new boyfriend's going to be there, right? And Trick is feeling some type of way about this new little dude that she with. He feel like the dude should step to him. I mean, wouldn't that be hella awkward? This is my girlfriend, but I'm going to talk to her husband. So yeah, I really don't blame the homie for not talking to Trick, but I mean the situation is kind of fucked up. Even if I don't care how you slice and dice that is just interesting. So then we see the surprise party, and Trick showed up, and we see Trick, we see Joy, we see Bobby and Trina, right? And Joy's boyfriend David shows up. Trick got in his feelings, right? Now I will defend Trick on one thing, right? We can defend Trick because when Trick was trying to talk to Joy, she kept walking away from him. I'm like, Joy, speak to the man. It don't cost nothing to say hello to a person. But then David supposedly bumped into Trick. I didn't really see that, and Trick got in his feelings about that, and he let it be known that he would basically beat that nigga's ass, right? So Bobby goes and be messy and talks to Joy, and he tells Joy that he feels that David and Trick should meet each other. I don't think I agree with that one, Bobby. Speaking of Bobby, this is going off on a little tangent before we wrap up in the video. You guys know that they're filming Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion. The cast, very interesting cast, I will say that. We'll see we'll see what the trailer gives us with Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion, because there are a lot of people on there that I don't like, and we'll see what is given. But that's it, you guys. Like the video, leave your comments in the comment section below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video, and until the next one, stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. So yeah, I'm not doing Atlanta this week. If Atlanta gives me something next week, I'll give it to you then. But this week, no Atlanta. Bye, guys.